Good evening, everybody. This is Tatum of Guardian Voice of the Missing, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. Want to say hi, Brooklyn Squad Real Life Drama. This is a lady that I think you guys should all check out her podcast. She does a really, really great job about true crime and missing persons, and she's just really great. So I hope that you will go ahead and put up that link for everybody so they can check her out. I did go live with her, I believe last week, and we're talking about doing more lives together and stuff, covering some more cases and stuff out there. Hi, Allison. How are you? Always good to see you. Allison of Missing Persons Alerts. Again, a great platform for you guys to be posting on. She also is very helpful with helping out families and stuff, giving in tips and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys are here. Always feel free to join in the discussion of the cases. I do have a lot of new cases to share today. A lot of like some critical missing people that really needed to be located and found as soon as possible. But of course, all of our missing persons are all to me critical missing. They need to be located and found. So I'm going to go ahead and someone told me hello. I don't know who it is. So you might be talking through the group page or whatever. And I have put up on the group, if you look up to the pin posts and stuff, since I use StreamYard for whatever reason, the groups, you have to give permission for StreamYard to use your information to show who is talking to me. I do have that link up on Guardian for you guys, where you guys can go out there and give those permissions out to them. If you're viewing from the page, I can see you. YouTube, I'm not for sure. I don't think I get to see people from YouTube until after I'm off if I don't have YouTube up. So just want to say hello to everybody. I hope you guys had a safe and happy holiday, and we will go ahead and get started. So this first case is a case that I will continue to show every week until we can get her located. It is an older case. This is Dana J. Bruce. She is missing out of Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 37. She's 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair. She has green, kind of hazel eyes. At the time, her hair did have some red highlights in it, and her hair was shoulder length and wavy with bangs. She is blind in her left eye, and she has both of her ears pierced. She does have a 2-inch scar along the lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. She has that tattoo that I have pictured there in her upper left arm with a teddy bear with the wings and a banner that says Dylan. She was last seen wearing that black shirt with the rebel on the front with silver lettering and blue jeans. She had left her babysitter's home earlier that day because she went out to Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man that had been driving a late Ford F-150 truck. And they had went back to the babysitters around 11:30 p.m. for her to give more money, and had asked the babysitter if they would watch the children the rest of the night. So the police had identified the man, and they have questioned him. He was from out of state. He was from Atlanta, Georgia, and he was a contractor at the time working on a project in Sedalia. He was questioned. He had been arrested on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspension. However, he has never been named publicly, but the police had been calling him a person of interest. I do not know that is still true. He said that after him and Dana were done at the bar, they had parted ways. He had never seen her again. Some added stories to that is it was said that she left the bar with at least 5 individuals that night. Of course, surveillance cameras and stuff they said were not working. And it is also reported or to be said that she had went to an after party at another individual's house that night and something happened. It is reported by a witness that for whatever reason, I don't understand why the police, from my understanding, have not taken this tip serious, that she had been given an amount of drugs and she collapsed, and they removed her from the house, wrap her up in carpet. The other key point is there's been a second red F-150 truck that was also seen or could be involved in her disappearance. The other thing that you need to really know about Dana is Dana was a very devoted, loving mother to her two children. They were her world. She was always with them. No one could say that she would ever leave her two children behind. She also had just signed a lease that day for them to get a new home to live in. She left behind all of her belongings. She doesn't have any bank accounts, credit cards, phone, or a vehicle. And it was unknown if she had her ID at that night. But again, this is a woman that was devoted to her children. She always had them. They were her complete world. And she would never have left them or abandoned them. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-826-8100 or 660-827-7823. I would love to see this case resolved, especially for her children. And like I said, I do run her flyer every week on our podcast because I said that's what I would do for her children and her loved ones. So I will continue to share her flyer, and I would appreciate anybody to share her flyer. I know it's an older case, and there will be quite a few older cases tonight, but you never know when someone will call in a tip on a case that's even old. And they have been, as you guys can see, I've been sharing a lot of cases that have been getting solved, or they're able to identify a lot of remains, or even actually finding people alive. So I think it's really good, despite if a case is an older case, that we need to get these cases out there and shared and help these families get their loved ones home. Hi, Ellen. It's good to see you. And, you know, the other thing is, I'll give a shout out to Ellen. Ellen is, you know, has a loved one that is lost. It's up for her to tell me if I can say who her loved one is. But one thing I will tell you about Ellen and a lot of my families, despite the fact they have loved ones that are missing, or the families I've worked with that have had loved ones that have been found, they still continue to support the other loved ones out there that are missing their loved ones. They share flyers. They give such great love and support to other families. And Ellen did tell me that I could share Dana Bruce. Ellen is her aunt. And one thing about Ellen is she is such a strong woman, because there's so much with Dana's case out there that is just crazy, unnecessary. People know, they know what happened to her. And these are people that are close to home. And that's what's so scary on some of these cases, when there's people that are very extremely close to individuals that know what happened to a loved one, or could be the cause of that loved one to be missing. And one thing is, like, I just so respect like Ellen's strength and some of these other individuals that their loved one has been missing for a long time. Sorry, that's my cat. You know, have been missing for so long, and they still have such great support and love, and they support the other families. So sorry, Ellen, to put you on the spot, but, you know, for it being 15 years that Dana has been missing, there's never a day that goes by that you have not looked for her or supported other families. And I just think that's completely awesome. And Brooklyn Scrod Real Life Drama. Again, this is a lady, you got to check out her podcast. She is really great, really devoted, does her research. And she, you know, she's just driven. She reminds me a lot of me. And she definitely puts the passion out there. And I love it. It's great to see so many closed cases. That is true. I'm really happy to see a lot of these cases getting closed and everything. And I hope that some of these cases, then not only have they identified these people, that maybe we can get justice for these individuals. So my first cold case that I'm coming up is from 1976, you guys. This is an old case out of Sanford, Florida. This is Carol Lynn Roberts. I do have the only age progression picture that I could find of her. So she went missing on August 15th of 1976. She was 18 years old when she disappeared. She would now be 65. 5'4", 128 pounds, brown hair, and blue eyes. She did wear wire frame glasses, but she also wears contacts. She had a scar on her neck upon approximately 3 inches long, but she also had a blue colored dot on her right forearm. Carol was last seen leaving her home in Sanford, Florida on August 15th of 1976 in the 90 block of Master Cove with a male which was reported to be named Wayne, who was her boyfriend at the time. It is said that they were doing a cross-country trip to California, traveling in her yellow 1977 Chevy Corvette. Wayne was pulled over about 6 days later for a traffic citation in Blythe, California, but it was not known if Carol was with him. When the police questioned him, he said that they had gotten into an argument at either Red Bluff or Red Rock, Arizona, where she exited the car with her bags. It is said that she got into an 18-wheeler truck that was occupied by 1 or 2 males. They were last seen traveling east from a rest area in Arizona. Her car was returned to her family by Wayne and then returned to the finance company. It is reported that Wayne has refused to cooperate with the investigation and has not provided any more information. She has not been seen or heard from since. There are various leads, including unidentified remains from the missing persons database, that have been investigated, and they have all came up with negative results. If you have any information regarding Carol's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call Sanford, Florida Police Department at 407-688-5070. You are most welcome. Desmond, let me check your text real quick. Okay. So this just in, it's not a case that I'm covering tonight, but I know you guys have all heard the case, Andrea Knable. I will let you guys know that there is a new tip and lead that that investigators are working on her. That's all that I can tell you at this moment. I hope in a few days we'll have more information for you on Andrea Knable. Andrea Knable, for anybody that hasn't watched the podcast or seen it covered, Andrea Knable went missing 4 years ago. I think it's been about 4 years ago. I might be wrong. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, she was a missing persons advocate out of Louisville, Kentucky. And she went missing. And there have been several leads. There's been some documentaries that have been done on her, but there is a new lead that just came in that is going to get checked out here in the next few days. So I'm hoping that was something that I was asked to announce to you guys, and just letting you know that there could be a possible new lead in Andrea Knable. Hi, Arctic Fox. How are you? Arctic Fox, that is another great advocate. If you guys have seen, he has been blowing up his YouTube videos on different missing persons case. He, again, is another really great advocate. I think you guys should go out. Arctic, if you want to go ahead and post your Facebook, I have no problem if you post your Facebook. People could go out there and join. He shares a lot on Guardian as well. And I share a lot of his posts. I know if you reach out to him and asked him to do a flyer or a video for you guys, he most certainly will do that. So Arctic, if you want to go ahead and post that so people do have that as another great place. He's used my flyers. He uses different advocates flyers and stuff, but his videos are very, very good. So I know that he, again, is another advocate that will, do anything to help a family find the missing. So I'm glad you got to be here tonight, Arctic. The next case is another cold case from July 10th of 1995. This is Angela Lynn Williams. She went missing from Pass Christian, Mississippi on July 10th. 1995. She was 21 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 49, 5'4", 110 pounds, brown hair, and brown eyes. She does have her ears pierced, and she always wore a small class ring. Her hair at the time was shoulder length. She was last known to be living with her boyfriend at a beachfront apartment on Highway 90 in Pass Christian, Mississippi. She had left the Copa Casino, her place of employment, around 8 a.m. on July 10th. It is reported that she had called a friend around 10 o'clock. Her family, who lived out of state, reported her missing in September. When the police questioned her boyfriend, he said that she left with her rich friend from Florida, and that friend was confirmed. However, it is not clear that she made it to Florida. However, she left behind her 1984 Oldsmobile Fiero and other belongings, including her paycheck. She normally kept in contact with loved ones by phone or letters. However, she has not been heard or seen since July of 1995. If you have any information regarding Angela's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call Harrison County, Mississippi Sheriff Office at 228-896-3000. And hopefully someone out there has some information on where she is at. And Arctic says that he did post that in the Facebook comments. So you guys have that to go out and look at. This next case is another case that came to me that was not getting a whole lot of media attention. And I keep her out every week on the podcast. Rebecca Demery, she's missing out of Odessa, Texas on March 1st, 2023. At the time of her disappearance, she was 32. Rebecca just had her birthday. She's now 33 years old, 5'5", 190 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. She does wear glasses and has a mole on the left side of her neck. She always wears that gold necklace that you can kind of see at the bottom of that picture. That is a cross that looks like it's made out of other crosses. If you ever see this necklace, it is a one of a kind. Nobody else will have this necklace. It was made for her, and there's no other ones that are out there. She does have her tongue pierced, but she does have a history of seizures and had a recent one while she was in the hospital. She does have a tattoo of the flower on her left arm. The picture of the flower is, I don't have a picture of the tattoo, but that's what it looks like. And then she has that heart design there in the picture on her right arm. She does go by the name Becca. So Becca had last contact with her loved ones. She had spoke to them on the phone on February 28th, where she had called them to see if she could get a ride home from the hospital. However, her loved ones were out of town and not able to pick her up. She did leave the hospital with an individual that day. Becca's loved ones texted her the next day on March 1st of 2023, and there was no response for her. She has not been seen or heard from again. Rebecca was last seen wearing that long gray shirt with a plaid hem there in the picture, with the black pants and the gray athletic shoes with a white sole. She was carrying that black and teal backpack. She was last seen approximately at 3:50 a.m. in southeast Odessa. Foul play is suspected in her case. I'm going to share a little bit more about her case. Foul play is definitely suspected in her case. There is an individual that there is a link that she was with this individual, and they have searched his work truck, and that work truck did contain blood evidence that is Rebecca's. But at this time, there has been no arrest made in this case. Law enforcement is working diligently on her case. And I know everybody's saying, how can you not make an arrest if you have blood evidence? Well, it depends on how much blood is in the car. And you also have to think that the police want, if someone has injured or killed a person, they want to make sure that they have one shot to get that person completely off the streets. In this case, they don't have Rebecca. They need to find Rebecca as part of it. But they're continuing to get more and more evidence in order to make an arrest. But, again, the way, our judicial system works and everything, they have to have enough evidence that they can make a conviction, because you cannot go after that person twice for the same crime. So that is a new piece of evidence that I have never shared before about Rebecca. And this is why foul play is suspected in her case, is they have found blood evidence in this vehicle that is linked to her. The family, my heart goes out to them. There have been multiple searches for her. Somebody out there does know something. I will not release the name of the vehicle or the person. I do know the name, but I cannot release that information out per law enforcement. That is the other thing. I will not release any information out on a case that law enforcement is not okay with. The reason I do that is I do not want to jeopardize anybody's case. There's a thing called a chain of evidence. Chain of evidence, anytime you guys get a tip, you know something, find anything, any type of evidence and stuff, you have got to be careful with that evidence. Call law enforcement, get them to come over, get them to take that evidence. Don't be sharing it out with the whole world. I know everybody likes to put everything out on social media, but that really can be damaging to your guys' cases. So I just, word of caution, just be careful what you're releasing out on social media and stuff. It looks like Ricky is here. Ricky is the founder of Kansas Missing and Unsolved, another great platform, another great advocate out there for you guys. Definitely you can go out there and share Ricky. We have talked about starting up his Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast again. We just haven't made that connection. So he does Kansas Missing and Unsolved, Missouri Missing and Unsolved, and he also has a Kansas Unsolved Homicide page. So Ricky does a lot in the Kansas area, Missouri area, but he will do flyers for anybody across the nation. So I'm glad Ricky was able to join tonight. This next case is a case I have covered before, and I do not know what is going on in the world that we have so many pregnant women going missing. Take a small moment for Soda. She was found, her and her boyfriend, they were missing, I believe, for a couple weeks. Someone can correct me on that. Her and her boyfriend have been missing for a couple weeks. They did unfortunately find them both deceased. They were murdered. And I don't know. I had heard that they had arrested a suspect in their case. But she was due to be induced like the following day or two after she had went missing. So prayers go out to her family. But here's another, it's been almost a year for Kajar J. Frazee. She's missing out of Beaumont, California on February 23rd of 2023. She's 22 years old, 5'7", 154 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. So she was 35 weeks pregnant at the time of her disappearance. However, she should have already given birth to her son. She was last seen around 10:39 p.m. in the area of Beaumont Avenue and First Street, leaving on foot. That was at the Jack in the Box that was located in that area. So she had been in the vehicle with, I believe, her mother and stepfather. And the story keeps changing on what happened. If there was an argument and she got out, if she got out because she wanted air. Her case is so confusing because there's so many different contradicting stories on what really happened that night. What we do know is she was wearing a black shawl, black hoodie, gray sweatpants, and black slip-on shoes. As you can see, and I didn't put up, there is at the bottom of her flyer this last surveillance picture that we have of her walking away from that Jack in the Box from her family member's vehicle at that location. Kajar has not been seen or heard from since. Loved ones are concerned for her and her child's safety and well-being. If you have any information regarding Kajar's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Beaumont, California Police Department at 951-769-8500. Kajar's case, it just concerns me. A pregnant woman about due. They have said that they have not seen any type, whether the baby's been born or not. So I'm not for sure. But like I said, if you've been following the case, I've been following the case, and there's so many contradictions of what people said in the beginning, and now that story has changed. So I don't really know what is going on. I hope that Kajara, wherever she is, will see this and reach out to someone. Artie Fox says this case is crazy. I can't believe she's still missing. Family has changed her story so many times. They have. And hopefully they'll get to the end of it. And I hope that it doesn't damage people to not share her flyer. Okay. Oops, sorry. This next case is one that someone asked me to do a flyer. And this case, too, is just one of those cases that you would think they would have gotten solved by now, but they have not. Okay, this is Alexis Daishi Ware. She is missing out of Anderson, South Carolina since January 30th, 2022. She's 29 years old at the time of her disappearance, and she's now 31. 5'5", between 215 to 230 pounds, black hair, and brown. She may have had her hair styled in red braids, long and black, or cut short. So I kind of put some different pictures up there for you guys to see some of the different hairstyles that she has. She does have those dimpled piercings, and she does have multiple tattoos on her hand, chest, legs, stomach, and arms, which I do have pictured there for. So it is reported that she was meeting her youngest child's father at a gas station around 7:30 p.m. off of Highway 29 in Anderson, South Carolina, about 40 miles from her home. So according to law enforcement, after viewing the surveillance, there had been no sign of a struggle between her and her child's father. It is reported that she was supposed to follow her child's father back to his mother's house. However, after dropping off the child, she sped away. And no one really knows why. This was the last time that she had been seen. However, her 2019 red Honda Accord was found on February 2nd of 2022 in McCormick County, South Carolina, on a dirt road in a heavy wooded area. This location was about an hour's drive from Anderson area, and her black hair bonnet that she was wearing was found near the vehicle. Several items were left in the car, including her phones, which she had two, purse, and a bag of clothes. Several searches were done, but she has never been located. It is unlike her to not have daily contact with her loved ones. She had voiced concerns about being followed in a black truck for several weeks prior to her disappearance, and she was afraid. According to the news report, her youngest father has been cleared as a suspect in her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Alexis' disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call Anderson County, South Carolina Sheriff's Office at 864-260-4400. And hopefully somebody out there, like I said, somebody out there knows something. I know in her case that her kids' dad really was raked through the coals about him, being the suspect in her case. But I did find that they have cleared him as being a suspect of her child. I'm not for sure who said good evening, Tatum, but hey. All right, so this next case I feel is just important. This is another case that I feel was not getting enough coverage. And as you guys all know, I started Guardian Voice because I wanted to get cases out there that people do not see. I love that there's cases that get, the national attention, they get media attention, all that. I think every case should get all that type of attention. So that was one of my biggest foundings for starting Guardian, is getting these cases out there that are not getting seen. So this case is Shelton Richard Lamar Bennett. He is missing out of Laurel Hill, North Carolina. He went missing on August 21st, 4th, of 2023. He was 27 years old, 6'1", 185 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He does have that tattoo, giant, massive tattoo of the angel wing that goes from his back shoulder all the way down his right side, down his arm. He does wear gold chains. Those 2 gold chains that I have pictured there, he always is wearing. Shelton was last seen living in his home on Rockingham Road wearing a pair of shorts and slides. It is reported that he was going to meet someone just down the road about 5 minutes away. His vehicle, which is pictured there, that blue Dodge Charger, was later located on Butler Road, which is just off of Rockingham. He had left behind his wallet and his keys and his phone. He left behind his wallet, but his keys and his phone have never been found. His phone had been pinged several days after, but since then has not been able to either ping it or anything. So it's either been shut off or it lost its battery charge. There have been multiple search efforts for Shelton, but neither him or any of his personal items have been located. Foul play is suspected in his case. For what I have seen reported in the news, that they did find some droplets and stuff of blood on his vehicle when they found it. So they do believe that there is foul play in his case. If you have any information regarding Shelton's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Scotland County, North Carolina Sheriff's Office at 910-266-4332 or Precision Search and Rescue at 910-840-1998. Again, this is a young man, has children, not someone that would have walked away from his life. This is an older case that I just recently came across, and I actually, on this case before I share it, actually got a tip today on it that I'm working on turning over to law enforcement. I'm waiting on them to call me back. So this is another older case. This is Christine Lee Bago, I guess is how you say her name, from Vallejo, California, missing from May 30th of 1993. She's 26 years old. She would now be 56 years old, 5'3", 100 to 120 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She does have her ears pierced, and she may go by the name Chrissy. Christina was last seen wearing a black turtleneck and black pants. At the time, she was working at the Northern California Renaissance Pleasure Fair and was living with a male who also worked at the same place. This man called her mother and told her that she had left to go to the store and she never came back. He asked her mother to come get her belongings that she had left behind. At the time, when her mother went to get her belongings, there was a book of poems, sewing machine, and a box of knickknacks. All of her clothing, purse, and identification was gone. She has not been seen or heard from again. If you have any information regarding Christina's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Vallejo, California Police Department at 707-648-4321. And like I said, I did get a tip off of her flyer that I am getting to law enforcement on her case. But again, it's, she left for the store, but then when her mom comes, I just find it very strange when her mom comes. There's only like 3 or 4 items of hers that are there. All of her clothes is missing. Something pretty, seems a little suspect to me. This next case is a case that I stumbled upon, and again, another case that I don't really see out there. This is a critical missing case. Dakota Shane Daniel, he's missing out of Welbers Fall, Oklahoma on September 6, 2023. He was 22 years old. He is now 23. 5'6" to 5'8", 160 to 175 pounds. He has auburn red hair and hazel eyes. He does wear glasses. He is schizophrenic and autistic. He is off his medication. So Dakota left his home in Webbers Fall, Oklahoma on foot on September 4th or September 5th of 2023. It is reported that he was seen early morning hours of September 6th at about 6 a.m. when he was dropped off at a Casey's gas station on Peak Boulevard in South Cherokee Drive in Muskogee, Oklahoma. He has not been seen or heard from since. He may be trying to make his way to Shawnee, Oklahoma. However, this has not been confirmed. If you have any information regarding Dakota's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Weber's Fall, Oklahoma Police Department at 918-464-2631. I know that his mother and his sister have been very diligent on social media, sharing his flyer and information out with the public. Trying to get him located and found. Again, here's a kid that has some mental health issues. He's not taking his medication and stuff. And, a lot of times coming off those certain type of medications, people can get confused and whatnot. And yes, I do believe that it's very weird for Christina's case as well. So definitely if you guys could get Dakota's out there and shared, he's someone that I would consider endangered, especially where he could be a more vulnerable person out there where people could take advantage of him. This is a case that someone came to me and asked me, and I had heard of her case before. Jasmine Giovanna Purvis. She is missing out of Jacksonville, Mississippi on December 3rd, 2020. She was 29 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 32. 5'4", 210 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. And as you can see, at the time when she disappeared, she had black hair, which was shaved short at the time. But here are a couple other pictures of her of different hairstyles that she has had. She does wear glasses sometimes. So if you see her and she doesn't wear her glasses, she's going to squint really bad when she doesn't wear them. She does have her ears and her tongue pierced. Her case is very concerning. Jasmine has witnessed a friend being murdered a few weeks prior to her going missing. On December 3rd, 2020, she had called her grandfather multiple times asking him to hurry and come pick her up. When her grandfather arrived at the 1100 block of Carnation Street in Jackson, Mississippi, her boyfriend at the time stated that she had gotten another ride from an unknown male driving a dark blue Chevy Tahoe SUV. It is reported that this is the same vehicle that was seen leaving the murder scene of her friend that she had witnessed being murdered weeks earlier. This has been released from law enforcement. Her loved ones have attempted to contact her. Her grandfather had called her multiple times. It went unanswered, and then it was completely turned off. She has not been seen or heard from since. Authorities have not released any names of persons of interest or any significant leads in her case. Foul play is suspected. If you have any information regarding Jasmine's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Hinds County, Mississippi Sheriff's Department at 601-974-2900. And I would say if you have any information even, about her friend that was murdered, I would still report to law enforcement because it could help both cases. I agree. It's really, really sad. There's not a lot of information. Law enforcement is keeping it pretty close. But the simple fact that could it be two different vehicles? It could. But it's kind of coincidental that the same vehicle, she felt like she was being followed. And, the same type of vehicle picked her up. So I'm hoping that someone will come forward. This next case is a case that Brooklyn did as well. Crime, they covered his case as well. I wanted to cover it because I 100% agree. This is a case that is not getting a lot of coverage. I know that the mom has, it seems like it's ramping up more. I believe that I saw a TV news release with the mom and everything, but I wanted to get a flyer out showing all of his different tattoos and stuff like this. This is a young man that has missed his child's birthday. He was very, very family orientated, would not have missed his child's birthday. However, this is a young individual at 25 years old that he had been struggling with some things that had been going on. So he was last seen, I'm going to kind of go a little different on his. So he was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt and tan pants. He had went to Cape Fear Valley Health, which is a hospital, to receive some treatment earlier in the day of November 24th, 2023. So he got released and he contacted a loved one. And he reported that he had thought someone had been following him and it could be linked to his brother's murder that was around 2 years ago during a home invasion. He had told the loved one had told him, go to the police. He was last known to be at the Fayetteville Police Department. That is where his phone last pinged in that area. So he had went to the police department to get some help. And he does have medical conditions that do require medication, which he does not have. But with his brother being murdered 2 years prior, which that crime is still unsolved today, he was really struggling with it. So he had really felt that he was being followed, and he really believed that it was linked to his brother's murder. So Avante Jaquez McNeil went missing from Fayetteville, North Carolina on November 24th. He's 25 years old, 6 foot, 160 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. He does have multiple tattoos, as you guys can see, on his hands, arms, chest, stomach, neck. He has Mob on the front of his neck, Kelly behind his right ear, Long Live Goldie on his left hand, Life Goes On, and Stars on his left forehead, Moneybag Major 2015 on his right hand, as well as others. As you can see, both of his arms, clear down to his hands, are fully sleeved. His whole chest and stomach and around his neck is completely covered as well. I do not know if he has any tattoos on his back or not. So that was the last time that he's been seen or heard from since. There has been no law enforcement have not came out and said whether or not they've caught him on any other surveillance. Nobody knows which way he went when he left the police department, anything like that. So nothing has been released, which I know watching the news interviews and stuff is very frustrating to his family. There's just nothing that's out there. I know it takes time, for law enforcement to get it, but this man's been missing for over a month. He's missed 2 major holidays. He's missed his child's birthday. Again, out of the ordinary. Family is concerned for his safety and his welfare, and he is considered by law enforcement missing and in danger. If you have any information regarding Avante's disappearance or his whereabouts, please call 911 or Fayetteville, North Carolina Police Department at 910-850-4122. Avante, if you would see this, please reach out to your mother and your loved ones. They are very concerned and they just want him to come home. They want to know that he is safe. Some of the stuff that people are posting, if you see something, say something, be the voice. I agree. Hi, Sharon. It's always great to see you. Sharon's another great person. She shares a lot of your guys' loved ones' flyers. She gets them out there. Someone asked me, would you consider doing a podcast on cyber kidnapping and virtual extortion, especially in the case of Kai? Yeah, I would definitely do that. I have no problem doing podcasts and giving out information. Whoever posted that, send me a message and let's see what we can do. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of Kai. He was that missing foreign exchange student. He was missing from Utah, and there was a ransom from China or something like that. But they did locate him. They did find him yesterday, I believe. I know that Allison had him posted out on Guardian and all the missing persons alert, but his story was really crazy about they were asking for thousands of dollars for a ransom for him, but they did find it. Someone's giving a shout out to Arik about your blown up YouTube. Great job on your videos. He is. He's rocking it out there. I'm really glad that he is back and just rocking those videos. This is a case I haven't shared for a while, but this is Jordan Elaine Smith. She's missing out of Concord, North Carolina on April 4th, 2021. She is 27 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 30 years old, 5'5", 120 to 150 pounds, blonde hair and brown eyes. I will tell you, I have talked to loved ones recently. Her case has had no movement, which is very frustrating about her case. Again, young mother missing. So she does have blonde hair normally, but she does dye it different colors. As you can see on the flyer, I have shown some of the different colors she's used, different hairstyles, so to speak. She does have her left eye demo piercing, tongue, ears, nose, the middle of her right upper lip, and below lower lip. She has a tattoo on her chest with lips and the name Cohen, with a crown over it with a K in sterling, with a red heart on her back of her neck, leopard print down her right arm, which has brass knuckles on her shoulder, and a gun on her lower inside of that print. She has other tattoos on the top of her hands, a skull with flowers on her left shoulder, back, fingers with letters, and a pitchfork symbol, and one on her lower left inside arm. Jordan may go by Jordan Barbie. So in her case, she was staying at a hotel in Kannapolis and was reported by a friend that she had left with an unknown, short, chubby, tattooed white male from the QT convenience store located on Cloverleaf Plaza in Kannapolis/Concord area. She's also known to frequent different homes in the Kannapolis, North Carolina area. If you have any information regarding Jordan's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Concord, North Carolina Police Department at 704-786-9155. Again, one of her loved ones reached out, had asked me to do a flyer for her. I had already had one out, but I did get it updated, reposted. And Jordan they do have a Facebook page out for her as well. I know that the family, the loved ones, they miss her dearly, want her to come home, but there has just been no movement in her case. But somebody out there has to know either this individual that has left with or something with her. Again, she, kept in contact with her loved ones. Thank you to whoever is sharing my podcast. I appreciate it. The more it gets out there, hopefully the more someone will see it and, maybe know something about some of these cases. This case is a highly concerning case that has come to me. The family is desperate to get Caitlin Woolery home. I had not known about the case. It was brought to me by Allison, and I have spoke to her family. So she is missing out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, November 23rd of 2023. She's 17 years old, 5'3", 115 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. Her hair, the picture that I have up is what her hair and everything looked like when she went missing. It was at shoulder length. She had just gotten it cut. She does have her nose and her ears pierced. She was wearing that beaded necklace. This is the best picture I could get for you guys. That white beaded necklace, it says Blake across it, and the cross necklace. She was wearing both of these at the time of her disappearance. She may go by Bug or Little Bit. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie, Crocs, and jeans around 1 to 1:30 p.m. on November 23rd, when she went for a walk around the block in the area of the Oakland Avenue by Uniontown High School in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, on November 23rd of 2023. So she had her cell phone with her, and it last pinged about 10 blocks away by the Potter's Bar there in town around 11 to 11:15 on November 26th of 2023. Since then, it has been off, and they're not able to ping her location. She has not been active on social media and has not been in contact with friends or loved ones. And this is one thing that the family stated. It is highly unlike her to not have contact with her friends or her loved ones. She was supposed to, and Caitlin, if you would see this, family had told me that, they were taking you to see your dad that day. And she didn't know that. That was a surprise for her to be able to go see her dad. And they're just really hoping if she sees this or someone that sees this to please have her reach out to her loved ones. Please reach out to law enforcement if, they are concerned that someone has picked her up. Family is very concerned that they feel like she would not have left and not had contact with them on her own accord. So if you guys have any information regarding Caitlin's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call 911 or the Uniontown, Pennsylvania Police Department at 724-430-2929. Like I said, family does not believe that she has left on her own accord at all, because she's had no contact with her friends, no contact with her mother, no contact with her father. And that is just very, very extremely out of the ordinary, especially when, they had plans for the day, she was in good spirits, and for her to disappear. Caitlin's case is another case I have not seen a lot on social media. I know her parents are putting stuff out, but I know that they said anybody that would be willing to share their daughter's flyer, they would greatly appreciate it, because they really are missing their girl. This is a young girl that's been missing for over 2 months now, and not really out there. So they're very grateful that, they found Allison. Allison got a hold of me, and then now, we have it out for you guys. If you guys could please share her flyer. That's the biggest thing in 2024. I really want to see everybody sharing flyers, because anybody can come across the flyer and may have some information. So I know the families appreciate all the help and the shares. This next case is Caitlin Nicole Mole. She's missing out of Wilson, Wisconsin on September 14th of 2021. She was 25 at the time of her disappearance. She's now 28. 5'4", 130 to 150 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does wear glasses sometimes. She has tattoos on the left side of her chest that includes love with birds and stars on the right side, a cat's head and tail with a ECG trace on her forearm, some sort of anime style tattoo on her forearm, and believe on her hip. She may use the name Nikki. She was last seen getting into a black SUV at her home with an unknown person. She has had no social media or contacts with loved ones since. If you have any information regarding Caitlin's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the St. Croix County, Wisconsin Sheriff's Office at 715-381-4320. And hopefully someone out there knows her location, knows something, and will contact police. All right, this next case. This is a case of Kevin Sean McGrath. He went missing on a Carnival cruise ship, Miami, Florida. And before anybody says anything about Carnival cruise ship, I think it was about a month ago that someone faked that they had been kidnapped and held by ransom off of a Carnival cruise ship, and they actually had gotten kicked off the boat, lied, and now they're arrested. When stories like that come out, it's really upsetting when a story like this is a factual, active, missing persons case that family has been trying to get out, and they said that they're getting rejected on so many platforms of missing people because he supposedly was missing from a Carnival cruise ship, and they don't believe it's true. They think that he's out there just living his best life. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is an active missing persons case. His case is super crazy. Talking to family members and stuff, I feel like this case more should have been done, more time and effort should have been put into it. But, when people want to falsify being missing or make false reporting, it makes it really hard for the cases out there that people really are missing, and loved ones need help finding their loved ones. So Kevin Sean McGrath, he went missing on September 4th, 2023. He's 26 years old, 5'9", 160 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. He does have both of his ears pierced. He does have multiple tattoos, as you can see on his hands, arms, back, finger, and chest, and his knee. His left arm is sleeved with the outside of the arm with the word blessed, and the inside he has a cross. The top of his hand has cadence, and his fingers say Zer. He does have a serpent wrapped around a cross on his inner right arm, multiple tattoos on the outer part of his right arm. He may use the name Kev or Kevo. So here's the story. He went on a cruise with several family members. I believe it was about 40. And he had been seen out dancing on the poolside throughout the evening on video footage into the earlier hours around 2 a.m. He was wearing a printed dress shirt and pants. It is reported that his key card was scanned around 3:30 a.m. to his cabin that he had shared with his brother. His brother had reported that he had woke up when he came in the room, but he couldn't confirm it was him due to the room being dark, and he just fell back asleep. When he didn't show up to breakfast and no one had seen him, they became concerned, and they reported it to the cruise liner. They said that a search was done, but it was pretty brief before that cruise liner went back out from Miami, Florida. It is reported that he was last seen wearing a black shirt, shorts, and shoes. Not sure who reported that, but that is what the report says. All of his belongings were left in the cabin. He has not been seen or heard from since. It is reported that Carnival will not confirm if his key card was used, and stated that the cameras in his areas were not working. There have been many theories about his disappearance, from going overboard to the fact that he just walked off the ship and I guess no one saw him. Or if you have any information regarding Kevin's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Miami-Dade, Florida Police Department at 305-715-3300. He also is a veteran of the Army. One thing that kind of upsets and irritates me a little bit about his case is the simple fact that they really didn't do a thorough search of a cruise line. I don't know. I've never been on a cruise, but I've seen big ships. And I don't know how you could do a thorough search on a cruise liner like Carnival in just a couple hours. There's so many different compartments, and they're huge. The other thing is, it was reported that Carnival denied that he was ever on the ship. However, I have seen the video footage, and actually people that were on the cruise reached out to the family when they saw the story and said, yeah, we talked to him. We saw him. Look, we got a picture. So he was on that cruise liner. But also on the sides of the cruise liner, they usually have these sensors that go off. Also, they're saying that the cameras weren't working in the area he was last saw. These are all things that I believe Carnival and these cruise liners, you're held to a high standard. You should be making sure everything's working before you have passengers on them. Could he have went over the ship? Yeah. One thing that the family member that I did talk to said, if he went over, that's all we want to know. We want to know if that's what happened. They just want to know what happened. The sad thing, and I really want to tell people, shame on the people that are refusing to share his story on their platforms for a missing person. This is a guy that served your country, for one. Number two, he's missing. It's a legit case. And how dare you pick and choose what cases to share? Here's a family. He has children. He has family. He's missed. And they have nobody to help them. My biggest thing is I will share any case out there that is a legitimate active missing persons case. If the person is legitimately missing. Now, there are scams out there where people are saying people are missing, or they're trying to identify certain people, and it's, a scam or a stalker, because I've dealt with those type things. This is actually, it's been reported by law enforcement. He's out in the NamUs directly. He has an active missing persons case. So I just don't understand when people don't want to share stories. I don't get it. How you can shun people. But again, I see how people, with the people faking that they went missing, and they get all this national attention, and it's a lie. And it's so damaging to these cases out here that have legitimately missing loved ones out there. And we can publicize nationwide somebody that lied. There's the case of the girl. I believe she's been arrested that said that she stopped to get a toddler off the busy interstate. She lied. She was arrested. She should be arrested. The guy that got kicked off the boat and then said that the taxi cab driver kidnapped him and needed ransom. You got arrested. You should. I'm sorry. Charges should be brought against these people. But, do your research out there. Go and look. Every case that I look at, I go and I do my research. I make sure that it's actively missing. I get as much information that's factual to put out there. But I'm not going to deny an active person that is missing for their loved ones not to post on my platform. I'm not going to do that. And for other people that do that, shame on you. That's terrible. Because this gentleman is actively missing. Whether he went off the boat, whether he fell off the boat, I don't know. Did he walk off the boat? He had 40 family members there. Nobody saw him. I don't know. There's been, like I said, different stories that he had an altercation with a loved one and whatever, but it still remains, where is he? If he went off the boat, I could see it'd be a little bit harder, but where is he if he did it? Brooklyn is saying, unbelievable. I get it. The cameras are always working. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people in a lot of cases, it's kind of like Dana's case. Oh, cameras weren't working. How convenient. Yeah, it's always the cameras aren't working. But again, you are the Carnival Cruise Line. You guys should be checking those boats before you let people board. You should be checking them during. You should be checking them after. So you're going to tell me the sensors weren't working. You're going to tell me that the camera wasn't working where he was last seen. Where was he last seen? Because that's a conflicting story. But there is actual video footage from a girl that posted on her TikTok. And you can see him. You can see him down there dancing, having a good time. Where the change of clothes came from, that hasn't been confirmed. But I will, I meant to put the picture, I didn't get it cropped or whatever, take a picture, but he was wearing some sort of plaited, dark colored shirt with, I don't know, maybe flowers or something on it, and like some dark pants. And he was just, having a good time. Awesome. So, Brooklyn Squad, she's going to definitely cover tomorrow. I think that'd be great. And I know that his family would appreciate it. He, they love him and they miss him. And his children miss him, and how hard it is for the other parent to try to, tell their children where their dad is. So this case came to me from a member off of Brooklyn Squad's podcast. And this case, again, I feel after looking into it and talking to the person that is close to the family and everything, I feel like more needed to be done in his case. Okay, so this is Lester Raymond Jones. He is missing from Starkville, Mississippi on January 11th, 2010. He was 26 years old at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 40. 6 foot tall, 205 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. He does have black hair, but it could have been shaved bald. So the big picture that I have is him shaved bald, but I also have pictures with him with hair on the flyer. He does have multiple tattoos. On his chest, it says LJ, Jesus on his back, a pit bull on his left arm, and to live is to suffer, to survive is to find meaning in suffering, possibly on his back. He may go by the name LJ. So he was last seen wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans. He was driving, and this is a surveillance picture. This is the last surveillance picture they have of his blue 2002 Ford Expedition with license plate number KTW-714, which was en route to Jacksonville, Mississippi from his home in College View Street in Starkville, Mississippi, where he was going to visit friends. He was last seen on camera at the Sprint Mart gas station in Flowood, Mississippi at 10:18 p.m., which is about 2 hours away from Starkville, Mississippi. His vehicle, like I said, was seen as well. His phone was located in the bathroom at the gas station. So there's been different stories on whether he left the phone intentionally at the gas station or if he just accidentally left it in the bathroom. We don't know. But I will tell you that this location where he was seen in Flowood is less than 10 miles from Jackson, Mississippi. Now, mind you, that's where he was going. Neither he or his vehicle have been seen since. And actually, it's right around 6 miles away, give or take how you go. But I put 10 miles away from Jacksonville. So his whole trip was probably from Starkville to Jackson was probably, I would give it 2 to at the most 2.5 hours. And here he was less than 10 miles away from Jackson. This is the last time he's ever been seen. And to know a little about Lester, Lester was pursuing his degree in biomedical engineering at Mississippi State University. He had enrolled in that upcoming spring semester. He also was a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and I'm sure I said that wrong. So here's a young individual that is motivated. He's goal-orientated. He's in, obviously has to be highly intelligent to be in a biomedical engineering program. It shows that he, had things to do. Like he went to go see his friends, but he was coming back because, he had responsibilities. So if you have any information regarding Lester's disappearance or know whereabouts, please call the Starkville, Mississippi Police Department at 662-324-4019. Now, I asked the individual that did come to me that does know the family. I said, did they search the area? She said, I don't know. I don't think so. Well, it's 6 miles. You can do a search. Are there any waterways there? Did he have a car accident? I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe, nothing has been said that they really did any searches for him. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to law enforcement yet. But I would like to know, I'm going to try to dig a little bit more into his case because, again, this is a young individual that's in college, has enrolled in the next semester, in a very intense biomedical engineering program. And he's less than 10 miles to where he was going after he'd already traveled 2 hours. What happened? That's a small area. So I'm hoping, getting his case back up there, maybe someone will know someone. But like I said, he has not been found, nor has his vehicle been found. So both are missing. So I'm trying to work with them to see what can be done a little bit more to help maybe get him located. And granted, I know it's 2010, but it definitely can be done. Ellen, I have not done Rochelle's yet, but I'm going to. In fact, she will be the last one I do. So I have 2 more cases, and yes, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I am doing Rochelle Hammonds because I was asked if I would put a flyer out for her mom and stuff. So this next case I have covered before, but I was asked to cover him again because, again, here's a case that someone went missing and was not reported for a year that he was missing. This is Michael Scott Harp out of Louisville, Kentucky, November. And I put November because we do not have an exact date when the last time, but we know it was in November 2020. At the time of his disappearance, he was 20. He is now 23, 6 foot tall, 160 pounds, auburn brown hair, hazel eyes. He may have a mustache or a goatee. He did not take his cell phone. He has had no contact on social media. It is reported that there was a verbal and physical altercations were very common in his home. The last time Michael was seen leaving his home was on foot, but his wife did not report him missing for a year after he was last seen. Pause on that for a little bit. Like, how do you wait a whole year? I don't know. Things that I know about the case is there was a lot of verbal and physical altercations that have been reported from his home between different individuals and stuff that were physical. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Louisville, Kentucky Police Department at 502-574-1720 or TLPI Investigation LLC at 502-427-1010. And hopefully we can get Michael located. So again, here's a case that is not out there. I've not seen anybody else cover his case but me. But again, law enforcement is behind the 8 ball. You know, his wife did not report him missing for a year. It's pretty suspicious. And you guys know me. I don't try to point fingers, especially at families. But knowing what I know about his case, how can you not report your husband missing for a year? It's kind of like all the wives out there that the husband didn't report them missing or said they walked off with an unknown male, unknown female. You know, we hear those so many times in so many of these cases about, oh, you know, they just left with somebody I didn't know who. I mean, I just think it's crazy. But a lot of people like to use that. In fact, I was talking to a couple people today that it came up about. Someone asked me, they're like, how can they keep using that excuse? Well, they just left with somebody. But I don't know who. You know, how do you not report someone for a whole year? That's a long time. So, you know, law enforcement is already behind a year. And that's why I always tell people when someone goes missing, report them right away. Do not let people tell you no, they can't take the report. That's a lie. They have to take the report in every state. You know, talk to your city, talk to the sheriff, talk to the state. Don't take no for an answer. Throw the state regs in their face, statutes in their face, and tell them you have to take my report. And make sure that they get them in databases. Because anybody that crosses over state lines, county lines, or whatever, they have to be put in that NCIC for any other law enforcement to know that they're missing. You know, don't take no for an answer. Don't take no. If you need help, reach out to any of us advocates. You can reach out to Ricky, Allison, me. I'm pretty sure Brooklyn, Arctic Fox. Let us know if you're having problems. If you're having problems, let us know. We'll see what we can do to help you guys out. A lot of us have connections to different law enforcement agencies out there. Across the nation, you know, we'll help you get a report out there. If you feel, even if that person, you know, if you feel like they've been trafficked and you think, or whatever taken, and it's crossed state lines, call the FBI. And I'm telling you, I haven't talked to one FBI agent that I didn't think was nice, thoughtful, um, compassionate so far. Reach out to them if you have to, because they can, contact agencies and say, hey, they've contacted us. You guys need to get on it or whatever. So don't take no for an answer. Yeah, a year. Yeah, she has no shame about it. She waited a whole year. I don't get it. I mean, I have my suspicion, but I'm not able to release all that. But yeah, she waited a year. All right. So this case I've seen around a lot of times. I have not seen it recently. I was asked if I would do a flyer. So I did. This is Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond. She is missing out of Mosca, Colorado on August 15th, 2019. She was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 35. 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. She does have her stem pierced with that silver circular barbell, and her hair was shoulder length. She does have multiple tattoos, a star on her left arm, scar on her right hand, cat with a bong on her shoulder, live like a lion on her upper chest, star behind her ear, stars on her inside of her forearm, and others. I do have some pictures. Some of them aren't the greatest, but I'll keep trying to get more. So Rochelle suffers from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. She is prescribed medications which were left behind. She is a Cherokee descent. She was last seen wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, and black Nike shoes walking away from her home in Moscow, Colorado on the 15th of August, around 11:30 a.m. She had only been living in that area about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance. Previously, she lived in Columbus, Ohio area. All of her belongings, including her ID, phone, medication card, dog, computer, and tools, were all left behind. She might be living homeless. Family does believe that she did not leave on her own accord and may be a victim of human trafficking. Loved ones are concerned for her safety and her welfare. There has been tips that she may be in California or Massachusetts. However, there has been little movement on her case. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alameda County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608. Somebody out there has to know something. From what I understand and what I've been told about Rochelle, she wouldn't have just left on her own accord. She'd only been there 3 weeks. She was close with her loved ones and stuff, and she wouldn't have just walked off. They do believe that she possibly could have been picked up and she could be trafficked somewhere. So if you guys could, share her flyer out there, that would be great. I know that her mother especially would be very appreciative of that flyer getting out there and shared around again, because I know that I was seeing it a lot and then I haven't really seen it recently. So I know that's one thing like Ricky is really good about, updating flyers, getting, recirculating and getting cases out there again. I try to be good about, doing the same, always updating, flyers, getting new information out on the flyers, but getting them circulated and shared. All these flyers should be out on Guardian and Missing Persons Alert. I probably have a couple from today that I have not gotten yet, that I did today, this morning, that I haven't had a chance to get out. But other than that, that is all that I have for this week. I may be looking at doing more than one podcast a week. I need to get with Ricky and see if we're going to start up KMUs again and get that started, which is a good podcast. Again, like I said, Ricky's a good advocate. He does great posters or flyers. That's who I learned from. And getting that information out there. Someone said, thank you for sharing your cousin's disappearance. Who is your cousin? let me know. There's a lot of things that I know Allison and I kind of have in the works, getting stuff out there and everything. Oh, Jasmine Purvis, you are most welcome. I had seen her case before, and it's just really interesting, and I was glad that I was asked to put out a flyer, and I will continue to get her out. If you have any more information about her, please reach out to me. If there's anything else I can add to her flyer or anything, just let me know. I can't see your name, at least on here. I might be able to see it once I get back on Guardian, and add more to her case, or do a podcast if you guys want to do a podcast or anything like that. Ellen, you have a good night, and you are most welcome. On any of these cases, or there's other cases you guys want me to cover, please let me know. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me at Guardian. You can reach out at Tatum Gray, whatever works for you. But I know we have a lot of stuff that's going on. It's 2024. We want to rock it again. 2023 was very busy. There's a lot more that we want to do out there for you guys. Like I said, if you guys, any of these cases that I've covered, if your family or loved one, you have more information or pictures or anything like that, please reach out to me. I can always update flyers. If you want to do a podcast, we can do that. Brooklyn Squad, me and her are talking about doing some podcasts together, covering some cases as well. Arctic Fox and I have kind of talked about maybe doing some podcasts. Me and Ricky have talked about doing some podcasts. So keeping all of these people out there, you know, getting to know everybody a little bit better, getting you guys getting to know us a little bit better. But know this, that you guys can always reach out to us. You are not alone. We will continue to fight for you guys, get reports done, and keep your guys' cases out there. Any tips that we get in, we will turn over to law enforcement, help law enforcement any way we can, to get these cases out there for you guys and get your loved ones home. I hope you guys had a good New Year's. I was lazy and I stayed home because that's where I feel I belong. I know that Brooklyn was up late doing a early morning live, which I think is awesome because some of us don't sleep, so we get up and do missing person stuff. That's just the way we roll. So always feel that you guys can always reach out to us anytime and let us know. We're here for you, and God bless you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the families for sharing your stories. Thank you for all the advocates and all the hard work you do. Law enforcement, private investigators, all of you guys are great. Keep your guys' heads up. Know that you're not alone. I'll be praying for you, and see you next time. Have a good night.